Jim, how are you?
Good, Peter. How are you?
Fantastic, fantastic.
Okay.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you joining me. You allowing me to get a little insight of this very unique car. Very unique car. I will tell you, I was familiar with the Woodies, a little bit here and there. Passed, of course, on a few shows before. But mostly everything were like kind of the wagon style Woodies, if you would call this way. Till I believe first time exactly when I've seen you was between 2 or 3 years ago that I was in a Miramar. I really enjoying the Miramar. One of our, I think, top car shows here in the area.
Right.
Because it's really mostly based on the classic cars. And there is a nice group of guys joining us from Naples area and Fort Myers area. Sometimes even somebody is coming from farther
Right.
away. But that was the first time I passed your car, and I wasn't familiar exactly that there were that types of Woodies. It's funny story. A few months later, after that, I think I got a FaceTime from one of my friends. He also owns Woody. Ford Woody, but one of those wagons. Santa Cruz guy. He joined me on the interview too, California, John, and he's FaceTiming me from car show on the boardwalk in Santa Cruz, walking around, showing me the footage there, and I've seen one of that kind of types of Woodies too.
Right. There's probably only 50 left out of 3,000 that were built.
Wow.
And there's probably only 2 that I know been street rotted. One in California and this one here. So, but it kept
Street rotted meaning kind of restomodded, yes.
Change the drivetrain.
Drivetrain.
Still look out like it's looks like the car is supposed to be.
Yes.
So, but it takes a lot to. It was a 3-year build. It was. I bought 5 cars out of a barn in Mississippi, and there was 2 of these in there, 2 Sportsmans and 2 47 Ford convertibles and a 48 Merc convertible. And I went down there. I talked to the guy, and he says he had some Woodies. So when I talked to him, I says, "What kind of Woodies are?" He says, "They're convertibles." I said, "I don't want a convertible. I want a regular Woody." And so I said, "No, I don't want those." So I hung up and I started researching it. And I thought, "Oh, these things are rare." So I called them back up. I says, "I'm gonna come down and look at it." I came down, drove down a 10-hour drive, and the barn leaked for 20 years.
Wow.
So there was no wood on either one of them. And if I bought it, I had to buy everything in the barn. You didn't want splitting.
Yes.
So I had to buy everything in the barn. I sold all the other 4 cars out. One Sportsman went to California, and they kept one, and they sold all the other convertibles. But there's a lot of old good parts that were along the walls where they didn't leak. So it was 10 trips from Mississippi to haul everything.
Wow.
So, but
you invested a lot of time and money just to bring this back to your area.
Right.
Yeah. That was quite time ago. What are we talking about? How long you have had the car right now?
I've owned this car for about 20 years, but it took 3 years to build it.
Yeah.
So, and I got other cars.
Yeah. So we're talking about prior 2000 when you got this one, yes? 90s? Yeah.
It was probably 2000 when I got that right in there.
I mean, yes, first of all, you're saying a few left. Even the 3,000 number, it's again, right now we are 2026. I mean, we're building cars like,
Right.
We're building cars like Baker makes bread in the thousands or 100,000s, millions. Back then, you could really hear about those numbers, and that's what amazed me too. First of all, classic cars, or special for us. That's the history of automotive world, especially here in the United States, everywhere else in the world too, but especially here. And then when you hear that kind of numbers, 1,500, 2,500, or 3,000, that's still such a low number for an entire country.
And as in 3 years, each year they built, in 3 years they only built 3,000.
Okay.
But they only built a convertible, and Chrysler built it and Ford built it. There's only Woody's ever built.
That's what I was going to ask you exactly. What do we have behind us? We have Ford, Woodie, Sportsman. Which year?
47,
47.
They were 46, 47. They only made about 248. But it was the same car they were left over from 47. So they just made them 48s. That's probably the difference in them. Probably over the years, I probably owned about 12 Woodies.
Wow. So you're a Woodie guy.
I used to buy them and then I do a little work to them and then I sell them. Just to pay for something that I was trying to build.
Yeah, I mean, to build something like that, the quality of wood which we have behind us is just stunning.
Yeah, it's we bought it. My wood guy, I went to 5 wood guys and looked at a bunch of wood guys. And then I looked at all their work, and I went up to Door County, Wisconsin, and to look at his Woody. And when I went there and looked at his, he had one door done on one he was doing. And I looked at the workmanship, and I says, I want this guy to do my Woody. So he was doing a Sportsman. He was doing a 48 Sportsman at the time.
Okay.
And I says, I want you to do mine. He said, well, it'll be a year before I can get to it.
Yes.
I said, well, I'll wait.
Yes.
So I waited, and it took me about a year to do the Woody. Dave Martin, super guy. He moved to Arkansas now, but he builds boats and Woodies, and super builder. And every joint is where Ford put the joint. He made it exactly for you. We bought a tree. He bought a tree, and I had to go. We had to go to a sawmill and get it cut.
Wow.
He told me the dimensions he wanted the wood cut.
Yes.
So I went and had it cut, and I went and picked it up, all the wood on the trailer, and then I had to take it to a kin dryer down in the so they could dry the wood. So then I had to go back for another trip, pick it all up, but when it was done, and take it up to him in Door County, Wisconsin.
True artist. True artist. I mean, first of all, he put you to work and and set you up with a little homework.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's the visionary there. Yeah.
It was a chore. I mean, I've never done them. This is the first Woody I ever built. It was the other ones I just bought. I still have one other Woody left. I got a 40 Woody, regular Woody back home. Been this one here, but they're pleasure. The other Woodies talk to you because there's movement in the wood.
Yeah.
This one, it's built different. It doesn't talk to you like the other Woodies. So more solid.
Yeah.
So, but all Woodies talk to you.
Oh, okay.
I've been building Woodies since the late 50s. I started my first one with Model A coupe.
Okay.
Dragged down the alley for $25.
Wow. Not too bad deal back then.
I didn't have no money, so I could do what I wanted to do with it, and if I wanted to get something done I couldn't afford, I had to trade work with somebody else to do it. That's how I started.
Old-fashioned way.
My dad was always in cars. He always had nice cars, so that
okay.
So
he passed on you.
So yeah, he always had nice cars. And but I started little by little, and then I got out of it probably. I was out of it for about 10 years. I wasn't in the cars anymore because of just the family. And I made a trip to California, and I looked in the newspaper, and then I'm buying a 32 Ford coupe.
Nice.
And I fixed it up what I could do to it, and then I drove it back from California.
Wow.
So it was a trip, 4 days.
Nice.
Ran out of gas once. It was a good trip. We had a blizzard in Lake Tahoe.
What did you take? Route 66?
Yeah, we went to, I think it was 80. We went Route 66 to begin with, then we
Yes.
came back in 80.
Yeah.
But it was a chore. I got back in the cars then, and then little by little, my wife told me her dad had a Woody. She wanted a Woody, so that's how I got started in the Woodies.
That's
Because
nice.
her dad had one,
See?
she wanted one, so I ended up buying one,
Uh-huh.
and that started, and I went from there to this.
Back then, family one, yes, four
Yeah.
door, the kind of wagon.
Right.
Are we calling wagon really?
Right, yeah, Woody wagon.
Yes,
That's what they are.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I've been to California with my 40 Woody. I was out to California. Woody's on a wharf. I was there. And
Okay,
Woody's on a wharf with the
that's
Ford.
what I was mentioning. Yes,
Yeah.
that was the
I was
Santa
there on
Cruz.
that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I was there. And,
Yeah, because you like the car shows too. You're attending many car
I
shows.
always wanted to go to Wavecrest, but I just never got time to go.
And this one is in?
That's in, I'm trying to remember. Wavecrest is, they pull maybe 300-400 Woodies. So that's the biggest one there is.
Is that California too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the town. I can't think of the town right now, but it's probably one of the big
Yeah.
ones. But
That's fine. I'll double check. I always like to learn something new and.
that's a really big one. It's in more in September, I think. So, but
California has amazing scene of hot rods and classic cars. Definitely, I'm interested to
yes,
explore
definitely.
and experience. You mentioned even the LA Roadster shows, which is very, famous big show, and you've been there many times too.
yeah, I've been there. So yeah.
Because except the Woody, of course, I know what I will be sharing with my viewers here, but I know that you're also a roadster guy.
Yeah,
so.
I'm a roadster guy too.
Yeah.
So, but I enjoy cars, and I'll do them until I can't drive no more. That's what I mean. So
yeah.
It's,
That's the big passion there. And automotive world is just huge, especially in the United States. It's again for me. Coming from Europe, I was always just crazy for American classic cars. Talking about 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. Definitely, as I came, I was always into 50s and 60s. Some Ford Mustang Coupe or Fastback, Bel Airs, of course, and everything else. And the last 5-6 years, I'm so deep in the 30s exactly. 30s, maybe a little touch 40s, but those like coupes, 5 windows, roadsters, everything else, 36, 37 Fords, just the body lines are amazing.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I probably own 25, 30 cars through the years.
Wow.
Hot rods and that, and I still got 10.
Not too bad. You gotta have some big place to keep them.
I sold 3 in the last couple of years. Just I got to get down a little bit.
Yeah.
I can't drive them all. You can only drive one car at a time. You can't drive no more.
Yeah. And you really gotta drive them because it's sad when they're just parked in the garage,
Yeah.
What do we have under the hood exactly?
Under the hood is a Lincoln motor, and it's a 4.6 fuel-injected motor. And the guy that built the car, did my sheet metal work, Tim O'Connell, he built all that sheet metal, that stuff under the panels and all that stuff underneath the car. He's a heck of a craftsman. He actually won the Riddler Award with a 40 Willys back quite a few years now. But
wow.
He's retired now. He doesn't do nothing, but he was a super metal man. Really was a good guy. So, but he had done the work on all my brother work on this.
I mean, interesting choice, isn't it? Talking about Lincoln motor under the hood.
I wanted to keep it Ford.
Okay.
I didn't want to put Chevy on it.
Yes.
It had to be a Ford.
Yes.
So I picked a Lincoln because it looked like a bigger engine. Fill that spot
Yes.
in there. So that's what I wanted to do. And we sank the radiator down 7 inches down, and then all the metal work he did on there, just lured the inner panels, and he did quite a bit of work on it. And we did. After we got done with the wood, we finished the wood. I think we got 14 coats of clear urethane on it, and every 3 coats we sanded it down again and reshot it again. 3 coats and then reshot it again. So, and it was a lot of work. But
yeah, I mean the car looks like straight from the factory, you know, straight from dealership. I would say even the wood, the entire top, interior.
Yeah.
What a choice of the interior again. Connect. That's.
I designed the interior.
Okay.
I did layout of the interior, sketched it all out, what I wanted, and then my upholsterer, Schober, did the interior on it, and he did it the way I wanted. He did a few cars for me too. So he's retired too now. Everybody's getting retired. We're getting old.
Wow.
That's what happens.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, this is what I'm doing. I'm calling this car vlog, car podcast. Being from Europe, being from Poland, I would like to guys dare to watch this. We chatting, of course, in English. Mm-hmm. I can do translation in Polish too, which would be easy. There is a lot of classic car, American classic car enthusiasts in Germany, Sweden, Scandinavia, France, everywhere in Europe you will find some, and hot rodders and everything like that. So I definitely would like to pass this to guys there to watch, to see what kind of opportunities, because I'm really grateful for the opportunities which I have here with you and with many other guys who are passing me in my, I'm calling this, you know, automotive journey. It's again, we're talking about unique cars. Oh, yeah. You won't see them. And it's the same with the people who restore them, build them, or collect them. There is so much knowledge, expertise, and craftsmanship. And I don't want to see the craftsmanship to disappear. No, so I hope there is some next generation who would be interested to learn, to catch this knowledge, and just keep this.
Right.
Because the moment when we lose, it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's something special.
It is. And younger people are not into it as much, but there are younger people coming up that are into cars. You know, not everybody has money, so you got to start. You got to start small with something and build from there. You know, that's what I had to do. And I started with a Model A to begin with, and went from one to the other and do what work you can do, and farm out the rest. You know, and you try to do as much as you can. I used to paint my own cars. I used to paint them and I used to build them, and that's what I did. And otherwise, I couldn't afford them. Yeah. If I didn't do the work, you know. So you know, you just make do and you go buy parts, you know, at the swap meets and stuff that. And
that's true.
Whatever you can get.
Yeah.
So.
What do you have exactly? So we talk about engine. What do you have as a suspension? Because
the front end's a Heights front end on it. Originally, I put an air ride in the front. I didn't like it, so we changed it and put a regular Heights front end in it. It's got an AODE transmission, electronic, and it's got a 9-inch Ford with Posey springs.
Oh, Posey springs, nice.
The frame is original, but it's been all modified. The whole frame has been modified, everything to work. I was going to get an aftermarket frame, but I thought I'm going to just use the original frame, and we blasted it and powder coated it and all that, so got that all done. But it's got a tilt column in it. I did it, and it's got 56 Chevy steering wheel on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's been cut down, and then we ringed it to get so we could do two colors. We took the chrome out of the center, one half of the chrome out of the center, just to get it to look different. I looked at a lot of steering wheels for it, but I couldn't find one that I wanted, and so we settled on that, and it fits the car. I wish it would have been a Ford steering wheel, but it was a Chevy one. So
you're still staying creative. That's good. That's good.
But it's got custom seats in it, and the back seat's been built by hand. The upholsterer built the seat in back by hand. It's got a trunk is all upholstered. The trunk lid, when he built the trunk lid, he had to build a buck, a lid buck first. Then he had to take and veneer and glued the plywood this way and that way and this way, and it can't form until to build up a thickness. Then he put them in a vacuum bag and sucked it with a vacuum bag to get the form of the trunk.
Okay.
And I had an original trunk. I had two original trunks. One went with the other car one I had, and this other one. But it was just starting to delaminate. So we had to peel it all back off. You had to build a bucket to it conform with the trunk, and we did that. And he did it. I didn't do it. But he ended up putting it in a vacuum bag and suck it down to form it. So, and that was a big project too. So,
yeah.
But it was even when we built the car. Actually, a Sportsman is a delaminated convertible.
Okay.
They took a convertible and delaminated it. Took all the sheet metal off of it. But Ford rebuilt the back end of it. The back end is different than a regular car.
Okay.
So they made new structures, and then they put the wood to it. Well, when you take the wood off of the door, it's like a wet noodle that wants to go all over the place. So I had to go and buy a coupe with the right doors. They make a long door and a short door and a coupe. So we put the doors on there. The thickness is different. The convertible's got a smaller style in there, but it set us up so we could do the length of the door and the structure when we were building a car.
All right.
So and all that was done. It was just part of the build, and all new floors and all that stuff is in the car. And it's when it's apart, there's always a metal structure. That's all that's there before you put the wood on it. But it's been like I said, a challenge.
Yeah. What would be your, I think, advice maybe for somebody from a young generation, or even me, interested in a Woodie? I'm not talking about this Woodie.
No,
we know that this one is
right.
unique, but even just regular, maybe wagon or something like that.
They're out there for sale. There's a Woodie Times. There's a magazine that it's a club.
Really?
Yeah, and they probably got 3,000 members or something like that, and you can buy parts, and they got articles, and it comes out once a month. And it's a National Woodie Club, and you can go on the internet and find. You can join it. I think it's $50 or $60 to join it, and you get the magazine every month.
Nice.
And it's all Woodies, all
okay.
with Woodies, new and old, and you can buy projects on there. You can buy.
Okay.
And it's a National Woodie Club. I belong to that since. 30 years, I think.
Wow, okay.
So, but that gives you some knowledge, too. But just other Woodie guys, if you need this part or something, you can
connect with them.
Yeah, or you go to SWAT nights, you got to look for them. And that's what you got to do, but get a Woodie, to strip it or leave the old wood on it and drive it like it is, you know what I mean? Just make sure it's running, you got the brake and all that stuff. But
so it's again that pretty important is to get Woodie, even if it would be in a bad condition, but with the wood on it, so you could always restore the wood easier than the build new.
It costs you a lot of money to build new wood. Yeah, and there's some good prices out there, and like I say, the National Woodie Club has a magazine, and it always got stuff for sale, cars for sale, complete cars or parts or a little bit of everything to build. So it's a good magazine for somebody who wants to get into Woodies. And you can go, like I say, on the internet, and you can find it and join it, and it's worth it's worth it. For the magazine every month, and it's the guys that put it on. I give them all the credit in the world. They put a lot of effort to do this magazine and shoot the pictures.
Nice.
People send articles to them. They put articles in, so that's always good too. So, but it's been it's a challenge to do wood, but they all don't have to look perfect like this. You know, some look old, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, each and everyone is different.
Right. Not everyone's a show car. Everything. There's a lot of just drivers. Any car is a driver.
And that's the most important. Drive them.
Yeah, I got a couple of my cars that are rust on the outside. That's the way.
That's the real
41
raw
pickup
look.
tr-
Yeah.
41 pickup truck I drive. It's got a 454 big block
Nice.
in it.
Wow.
And, I drive it. It's got heat and air car, and I drive that a lot because I don't care. So, but it still gets a lot of looks.
Yeah.
So I drive that a lot. So I enjoy it. You know, but I want to get the part or go get something. I jump in that and go. So I'm not
Nice.
going to jump in this and go.
Yeah. Nice.
But enjoy it that way. So, but my wife has always been good to me. She's let me do
Okay.
what I want with cars.
So
She's
you have
always
good
had-
partner there.
She's very good for me.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
very important.
definitely.
That's very important.
Yeah,
If in the
definitely.
relationship somebody's supporting you and your passion and
my-
then even shares how you mentioned before.
My son has a car too. He's got a 34 Ford
Nice.
Cabriolet. He drives.
Fantastic.
So and
So it's in the family.
yeah,
It's in the
yeah,
family.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned, you getting Model A. Model A right now is becoming luxury. And not talking, of course, about, like basic original Model A, which is still holding price for the car collectors and everybody know. Else we know what's happening with the prices right now. Prices on the classic cars. And that's why we're talking about, next generation is coming. And you're right. That is coming. Maybe will be, smaller number. Definitely, there is a lot of to choose from. We have the JDM, which is Japanese cars, Japanese classic cars, past 25 years. German cars. When I'm right by the border with Germany, I experienced many of them, and we're talking about the, spectacular craftsmanship back then in the 70s, 80s, 90s. DTM races, Mercedes, Audi, BMW, Porsche. I never experienced Porsche. I didn't have chance, but definitely a lot of to choose from, and the young generation is touching them a little bit too. And that's the shift exactly there, because as you were, going through your automotive journey in your 20s or 30s, that was the car for you, starting with Model A's, which was right under, and then of course classic cars. Right now, those classic cars exactly raising in the prices, so it's difficult to put a hands for some youngster, in a teenager or 20s. But there's, I think, still opportunities. Definitely in the depends in which state you are. New York, some West California, Arizona, and it's again passing from that to sun. More maybe they have more space on the backyard to work on that too.
Makes a difference too.
Yes,
definitely. It all goes what you can afford. You got to start someplace. And
somewhere,
buy the cheapest car, but you like the car. It might need all kind of work, but you buy that car. So start.
It's gonna take a time. 6 months, 8 months, year.
If you can't do the work, you got to be able to do some work on the car.
Yeah. Plus, if you cannot do it, you're gonna start small. You will learn along the way, and that's a good one too.
Making mistakes.
Especially right now, again, doing this. I'm putting this on the YouTube too, and that's the cool story with the YouTube or even social media. Not everybody likes them or yes or not, but you can really it's the search engine. You can find everything, and you can learn from just checking those videos, and that's cool.
I do that. I go on YouTube.
There you go.
Don't know how to work something. I look at it. Oh, that's how you do that.
Nice.
But go to 3 or 4 guys, and you'll say, I don't know this guy.
Yeah.
They go, that's why you do it. Look for the guy that's got the knowledge. But it's an experience.
It's an experience. It's a process.
Definitely. But the car was. I didn't paint this car, but the guy that painted the car, he painted a couple cars for me, Ron Stroll. Ron painted the cars for me, and but we did the finish on the wood, like I said, and it's been a journey. I spend many hours pinging out the dents on a stainless steel and polishing all that, hours on the bench, and it's a lot of work, because that trim only and the back fenders and all that stuff fits a certain car, and takes time to take all the dents out and polish it.
But we're talking again one of a kind, and how you mentioned before, magazines, some TV stuff is approaching you all the time. It's not many of them around, so you share with me those magazine pictures, covers. It's just amazing. Yeah. And that's true piece of art.
Yeah. It's been a journey, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But like I say, I'm going to drive till I can't drive anymore.
And we appreciate, again, me and everybody around, we joining on those car shows. Again, how that's how I passed you first time. We appreciate you guys, that you coming to those car shows, you taking the time, you sharing the knowledge when you're always there around for us. I'm observing you guys. You coming there, takes time. Takes money. Sometimes you drive from your home to those car shows. Takes a while too.
Yes.
And you coming there, you're sharing the knowledge, you're sharing the story, because that's what catch me with you too. And you agreed to join me here, and that's fantastic.
Yeah. No,
because that's entire history here, or American culture, car culture.
It is, definitely. Yeah. It's a journey, and I just hope that it keeps going on and doesn't quit.
Yes.
Today, cars are very expensive.
Yes.
You want to buy something, if you really want what you really want, it costs you a lot of money.
Yeah. There's a lot of electronics in the cars too. I mean, some of us like, some of us not. I'm more old-fashioned guy. I like the body lines and craftsmanship behind, and that's what we're talking about.
I always liked 32 Fords. 32, 33, 34, and 44. 40 coupes.
Yes.
That's what I always liked. Those were my years that I always was favored the cars. So.
Nice.
But I built a 34 Ford coupe for my wife. It was chopped, had a nail head in it.
Lucky girl.
And it was painted candy black cherry. I painted it. I used to paint. And I painted candy black cherry, and she used to drive it all the time.
Nice.
So I drove, because I wouldn't have a sedan. So I always went and had a coupe or a roadster. So I built a coupe for her, and then one of the kids would ride at her, and one of the kids would ride with me. It would take two cars.
Wow.
So
that's some good times. Yeah.
It was nice. So, but. We had a good time. We went to a lot of shows back then.
Yeah.
But I don't do as many as I do now. I just don't do them anymore.
But you're still attending a few here.
Cruise nights and stuff like that I enjoy more.
And that's what I hear from guys. They are like the organic way, just cruising without no pressure,
Right.
The little even car show where you can just pull in, pull out, whatever you feel, not staying for the, 8 hours or something like that, and that's fine too.
Right.
Yeah.
You're right. And you don't have to drive there. I don't care about awards anymore or stuff like that. I just like to come to the shows, stay there 2 or 3 hours, and leave, I go eat someplace or whatever. It's more enjoyable that way.
Nice.
But, you do what you got to do at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Jim, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing the story. Looking forward to ride.